Good evening. Today is April the 18th, 2020. I'm sorry, August. Yeah, August the 18th, 2026. It is 7 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order tonight. I'm going to ask if Commissioner Cooper would lead us in our prayer and Commissioner Long would lead us in our pledge of allegiance to the flag.
Let us bow our head. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather here today in service to our community. Grant us wisdom in our discussion, clarity in our decisions, and compassion in our heart. May we lead with integrity, work with unity, and always seek the greater good for those we represent. Bless each and everyone present, and may our effort today reflect the fairness, justice, and respect of all. Amen.
Amen. Thank you guys for that. Guys, I seek a motion that we adopt the agenda, please.
So moved.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What I would like to ask the county attorney, in lieu of and I'm not a person like keep up stuff, but in lieu of what we have read in the papers, should our Chairman Baines, chair this meeting?
My understanding is that the county is proceeding with the understanding that Chairman Baines has been reinstated, and so I'm not going to give a public legal opinion on that, but that's my understanding of how the county has been choosing to proceed.
Yes, and I just want to be sure that for the citizens of Newton County that we are following legal advice of, I guess, Gerard and Davis. Thank you.
Any more discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Next is public comments, where we allow citizens to make comments about agenda topics only. You have 3 minutes to do so. You may comment this time. Please state your name, your address for the record, please. Agenda topics only. Agenda topics only. Thank you. There's nothing to report today in the chairman's report. Mr. Brown, there's nothing in your report, or do you?
Good evening, Mr. Chair, and Board of Commissioners. I do not have anything to report.
Thank you, sir. Next is the consent agenda. I seek a motion that we approve the consent agenda, please. It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Cooper. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Next is new business. Consideration of Cornish Creek Water Treatment Plant upgrades. Mr. Brown.
Good evening again. This is the third agreement for the upgrade to the Cornish Creek Water Treatment Facility of $159,331,405.20. As you may remember, the board already approved package number 1, package number 2. Package number 3 is the combination of package 1, 2, and 3 for the total of the amount that I just read. Just seeking for approval from the board.
I seek a motion, please. Is there a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Cooper. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Next is item number 9, consideration of environmental resource analysis. Mr. Cooper. I mean, Mr. Cooper, Mr. Brown. Yeah, sorry.
So this is an annual contract for testing that the Cornish Creek treatment plant does do from outside third-party testing to make sure that all of the contaminants are appropriately tested for and pass all EPD and EPA regulations.
Thank you, sir. I seek a motion, please. Is there a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Long. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. If you want to go down, go down. I'm going to ask that we go into a brief recess for a few moments, and we'll come back. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Is there a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Cooper that we go into a brief recess. Any discussion? I'm sorry? The purpose is we can't start zoning until 7:30. Good? Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor? We stand in recess. Guys, I seek a motion that we move back into our regular meeting, please. Is there a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Long that we move back into our regular scheduled meeting. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Passes 5-0. I'm going to ask Mr. Applewhite if she would please come on up. It's actually 7:30. Now we're going to move directly into our zoning. Ms. Applewhite.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, Chairman, members of the Board of Commissioners. Our first petition this evening is actually old business. It is REZ 26-000004. It is for a retail space located at Highway 81, tax ID 0016030. And I should mention that this was tabled back in June for 60 days to be heard again tonight. Parcel size is 3.63 acres. Flume is commercial. The existing zoning is R2, single-family residential. The proposed zoning is general commercial. It is in the emerging suburban character area, which the Flume would support. Watershed is South River. This is District 2, Commissioner District 2. The owner is Steve Astron, and our petitioner is Haley Todd from PEC. And applicant's intent is to rezone to general commercial in order to develop a multi-tenant retail building. And just briefly go over the history, because we presented this at the last meeting, but on May 8th, there was a community meeting that was actually rescheduled to 5/29. The Planning Commission held the meeting on 5/26, and they tabled the petition, and that was then held again at a special called meeting on 6/15. On 5/29/2026, the community meeting was held for this proposal, and the applicant proposed the following. The proposal, they showed the proposal or the site plan. They spoke about how long the project will bring local community, how it would bring local community uses. There was a possibility of a single tenant. The county regulations required 72 parking spaces, which they've met. There's ADA screening and sidewalk requirements, which will be met. Stormwater pond will mitigate flooding in the adjacent neighborhood. Stormwater regulations have improved over the years. GDOT advised that an entrance or an exit wouldn't be located on Highway 81, it will be on Cowan Road instead, which will also have a deceleration lane. And the distance from the building and the impervious surface to nearby property lines, they also addressed that to make sure it was appropriate. Transitional buffer will only encroach on the driveway, but it would be appropriate for separation from the residents next to it. The trip report concluded that the proposed development will bring less than 100 vehicles onto Cowan Road daily. And this particular proposal doesn't meet the threshold criteria for us to, for staff to require a traffic study. The board does have that discretion. No proposed end use for the building at this time. So at the same community meeting, the citizens also expressed their concerns. So there were concerns about the types of uses, example, a gas station or a restaurant that could potentially be developed at a later time. There was a possibility of putting conditions in place to prevent certain uses. If any of the land is left vacant, there was concern that that could also be developed at a later time. The potential relation to the previous cell tower project that was also proposed on that parcel. There are also concerns of traffic and congestion that the Cowan Road currently experiences and the dangerous curve it has. There's a small distance from the entrance on Cowan Ridge Road or the Cowan Ridge subdivision to the developer's proposed entrance on Cowan Road. There are also concerns of drainage, flooding issues that currently affect the adjacent residential properties, such as the Livingston Elementary School underground pipe for their retention pond. There's potential drainage issues that the proposal could cause as well. And these are, again, some of the concerns that nearby residents expressed. They also expressed a possible need for a hydrology test and traffic study, and they needed to know that, who the potential developer would be. On 6/15, the Planning Commission recommended denial of the petition by a vote of 5-0. Citizens also spoke in opposition at the Planning Commission meeting, and they reiterated some of the same concerns above. Additional concerns also included safety and the facade of the building that faces Highway 81. On 6/16, the Board of Commissioners tabled this petition for 60 days. And this is where we are today. So these are just pictures from the community meeting. Just a brief site plan analysis. So it's 3.36 acres. Surrounding area includes single-family subdivisions, the Livingston Elementary School, and Livingston Academy Child Care Learning Center. The site plan shows a 10,800 square foot commercial building. Along the southeastern portion of the property, there are 72 proposed parking spaces. The septic area is to the west of the parking lot, and the stormwater facility will be to the west of the building. The septic area, we do have concerns of its location and proximity to the impervious surfaces, such as the parking lot, and any impact that it could have on the septic drain field. One existing curb cut on Highway 81, but that's not going to be used. GDOT has already decided that they'll have to use the Cowan Road as their ingress and egress. So the preliminary approval per the county's transportation department, it was there as long as it lines up with the adjacent street entrance at Cowan Ridge Road and incorporates a deceleration lanes. Those were the conditions that transportation had. There's a 75-foot transitional buffer along the backside of the property. The only thing within the buffer is the entrance into Cowan Road, but there is going to be an opaque fence, which will also be part of the buffer to shield the residences in the adjacent subdivision. The front of the building is proposed to face inward. However, we have communicated with this developer that the building actually needs to be oriented towards the road, which would be consistent with all the other commercial developments that are within proximity of this proposed development. The site plan meets or exceeds the minimum building setbacks as per development regulations in the UDO. And any signage must also meet the requirements of Division 525. And of course, this is the parcel we're looking at here, and this is the proposed layout, which would probably need to be revised at some point. So stormwater facility, the septic areas on this side here, we've got the parking and then the building over here. The transitional buffer, and of course the fence. And we have our subdivisions on this side here and across the road. So they have submitted proposed elevations. It will be primarily of brick. And these are some of the uses that they're proposing that will go there. And I do have these uses included in your packet for review. So in conclusion, the applicant is proposing to rezone to general commercial for a neighborhood retail store with multiple tenants. The proposed use is along a state highway, which will serve travelers and residents in the surrounding area. The rezoning will also be consistent with policies of the comp plan, since the flume is already commercial and supports the general commercial district. However, there are some challenges that still need to be worked out on the lot, such as the septic location, building orientation, and improvements to Cowan Road, such as a decel lane, as well as to improve traffic flow. It is also important to note that many citizens expressed concerns about the project during a community meeting on 5/29/2026, mainly in relation to the potential uses that could go on the property. They also had concerns about the drainage and flooding issues and traffic congestion that Cowan Road currently experiences. Staff also received several opposition letters and one petition from the adjacent Cowan Road subdivision, Cowan Ridge. And the concerns stated included the potential crime. There are also concerns about finding another property that's already zoned commercial for the proposed use. There are concerns about the traffic, noise, trash, litter, lighting, loitering, and extended hours of operation. There were concerns about keeping the character of the residential areas. There were school safety concerns and adverse neighborhood impacts. The applicant is seeking this rezoning. This is not a by right use, which is why they're seeking to rezone it to the appropriate zoning category. So should the petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved general commercial, conditional, and subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. So 1, to the owner's agreement to the following. A, all plans and plats submitted must meet the requirements of the ordinance or regulations and be approved by the Department of Development Services, Public Works, Newton County Fire Services, Environmental Health, the Water Authority, Georgia Soil and Water Conservation, and the GDOT as applicable. B, prior to any new uses, all permits shall be obtained as applicable. C, they must obtain and maintain a business license as needed. D, no outside storage allowed on the property. No merchandise allowed to be displayed outside of the building. E, the entrance or exit on Cowan Road is allowed to be within the transitional buffer as long as an 8-foot opaque fence is installed along the west property boundary line. F, the building shall be oriented to face Highway 81 and have appropriate fenestration. G, there shall be landscaping strips along Highway 81 and Cowan Road. And H, the following uses shall not be allowed: tattoo parlor, vape shop, pawn shop, gas station or convenience store with pumps. This is a survey that was submitted by the applicant. These are street view pictures from Highway 81 and Cowan Road. Our zoning is R2. The flume is commercial. This is a future land use map. Watershed is South River. This is in Commissioner District 2. Character areas, as we said, emerging suburban. And that is the end of staff's presentation. And Chairman, the applicant does have a presentation of his own. Are there any questions for staff at this moment?
Thank you. Ms. Applewhite, so I'm told there's already been a public hearing on this. Is that correct?
Yes, it would have been held on back in June.
Okay. So I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Mason. What shall we hear? Well, if y'all said that they already did yep, so.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. From my understanding, this particular site is still in litigation. So really, I cannot make a decision at this particular time. So I'm going to move that we table REZ 26-000004 for 30 days.
Could we do 60 to allow for to re-advertise?
Yes, we can.
Thank you.
Is there a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason that we table this for 60 days and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. It stand table for 60 days. 5-0. Ms. Applewhite.
Thank you, Chairman. Our next item under old business, it's Resolution R061626D for consideration. It was tabled on June 16th and then tabled on July 21st. It is a resolution of the Newton County Board of Commissioners terminating an existing moratorium on the acceptance of applications, requests, or submissions that propose the development of convenience stores. We are still working on this, and as well as the UDO, staff would propose to actually go ahead and extend this to terminate at the same time as the UDO will, which will be like November 4th.
Thank you. And so it's my understanding, again, we already had a public hearing. So, Commissioners, I seek a motion, please. Is there a second? Is there a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Long and second by Commissioner Cooper. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Stand table. Extended, I'm sorry. Ms. Applewhite.
Thank you, Chairman. So our next item today is under new business. This is an appeal case. It's an appeal case for the Sherrod Farms subdivision. The case number is APP 26-00003. The name of the appeal applicant is Mr. Philip Johnson. He's the attorney representing the client. The original case number is the PP 26-00003, which was the preliminary plat. And the original applicant was also Mr. Philip Johnson. Property owner is Dinah Pace Holdings. The address of the property is off of Dinah Pace Road and Brownbridge Road. The tax ID parcels are 43-4A, 43-35, 43-35B, and 43-4D. Proposed use is a single-family residential subdivision. The existing zonings are R2, single-family, R2, which is single-family residential district as well, and they're also applying the open space conservation overlay. Watershed is Yellow River. Character areas are the live-work corridors, established suburban core, and conservation and recreation area. Density is 0.776 units per acre. Parcel is 399.3 acres. They're proposing 310 lots, and the proposed lot size is approximately 17,500 square feet. This is located in Commission District 4. So the request is the appeal to the Planning Commission's decision to deny the preliminary plat for the Sherrod Farms residential subdivision. The original request was the applicant was presenting for approval the preliminary plat for the Sherrod Farms subdivision located along Dinah Pace Road and Brownbridge Road, and of course 399.3 acres and 310 single-family lots. And as a brief history, on June 23rd, the Planning Commission denied this plat, this subdivision, the preliminary plat. As mentioned, the character areas: live, work corridor, the established suburban core, and of course a conservation and recreation area. Just a brief background: the single-family development that they're proposing is located south of the access road. There are two separate entrances off of Dinah Pace Road to the east, as well as an entrance located off of Brownbridge Road to the southeast. So the project consists of 4 parcels, Zone R2. They all fall within those 3 character areas we mentioned previously. When this first came in, there was a development of regional impact. It initially came in as an annexation with, from the city of Porterdale. That was dismissed. The city dismissed that, or they dropped it. They didn't move forward with it. But the development of regional impact study had already been conducted. So just want to give you a little bit of background on that. At the time, it was for 649 single-family units. And the feedback from the DRI is that the live work corridor area, the vision for that character area, it emphasizes more so mixed-use development for employment opportunities and multifamily housing. The project, however, is just single-family use, so they didn't think that the proposal was consistent with that particular character area. However, residential uses in single-family residential zones are listed in the comp plan as appropriate for it. And there are several commercial facilities near the site along the access road, which borders I-20 and intersects with Dinah Pace Road. So in their consideration, and of course in the context of the nearby parcels, the proposal would somewhat contribute to mixed-use intention by creating homes near existing employment and retail opportunities. The requirement for sidewalks due to the availability of sewer infrastructure indicates a walkable development, which is attributed to the character area. A traffic study was also conducted in 2023. They met the threshold for that due to the number of new single-family proposed homes. Even at 310, they will still meet the threshold for a traffic study. Back then, it showed that the generated trip or the estimates, which at the time was for the 649 homes, but they showed a total of 5,639 total two-way trips over a 24-hour period. An updated traffic study hasn't been submitted at this time to reflect the new units as well as to reflect the other subdivisions within proximity that have come online since then. And these are the others on Brownbridge Road as well as on Cowan Road, which they'll all share that Cowan Road artery to get onto I-20. And we'll go into that a little later. So this just shows the trip generation as provided. So the preliminary plat analysis, the Planning Commission was their role to review for compliance with our UDO, section 1415-030, as well as division 430 for the open space. The Sherrod Farms subdivision consists of 310 single-family residential lots on 399 acres on water and sewer. Minimum lot size, the open space conservation overlay brought it down to 17,500 square feet, which is about 0.4 acres. And the average lot size they're proposing is 20,000 square feet, which is about 0.46 acres. So more than a quarter of the lots are larger in size than the average lot size. The smallest one is 17,572 square feet, and the largest is 47,720 square feet. So development has 3 entrances, 2 on Dinah Pace, 1 on Brownbridge Road, the deceleration lane. There is concern for traffic congestion at Brownbridge Road entrance since it is located within a quarter mile of 2 multifamily residential developments to the east, namely Benton Woods with 162 townhomes, Leafstone Apartments with 232 units, They're also in close proximity, about a mile, to the other high-density developments on Crowell Road, will also exit onto Interstate 20. So these would include Harold Dobbs or the Dobbs Landing, 253 units, the Towns at Yellow River, 96 units, Point Grand, 216 units, and of course the existing Silver Ridge at 211 units, and Oakwood Manor at 322 units. So the proposed project offers multiple parks, meal kiosks with parking, mulched walking trail along the river, an existing pond, sidewalks, stormwater detention ponds, utilities, and landscape areas. So other concerns as noted in the DRI include potential impact of the density of the Yellow River on the Yellow River, as well as the sensitive floodplain and wetland areas. So even though the developer reduced the number of homes from 649 to 310 units, the proposed subdivision is still in close proximity to the riparian buffers that protect the Yellow River watershed. Comments from staff. So the following county departments and external agencies have reviewed and approved the preliminary plat for Sherrod Farms. So Newton County Fire Department, they've reviewed for the fire code and recommended approval. Our Transportation Department reviewed, but they had conditions as well. So additional improvements are required on Dinah Pace Road, and they also had to coordinate with GDOT for any additional comments on the Dinah Pace Road and the Access Road, because Access Road is a GDOT corridor. Newton County Development Services, it was reviewed for compliance with the UDO, recommended for approvals. Also, our Stormwater Management Division has also reviewed and approved. GIS have reviewed and approved, as well as the Newton County Water Authority. They reviewed and recommended approval, and they're providing both water and sewer. So comments from the Planning Commission meeting. On June 23rd, 2026, several residents and attendees spoke in opposition at the Planning Commission meeting. Those in opposition said that they were concerned with the high residential density, the impact on traffic congestion, and that these homes may end up as rentals rather than owner-occupied. One member of the Planning Commission asked whether the developer would be willing to name a street after Dinah Pace, who originally resided in a small cabin, and I think she took in like orphan children as part of her life's work. Members of the Planning Commission expressed concern for traffic congestion and single-family homes that may become rentals rather than owner-occupied, and the Planning Commission subsequently denied the preliminary plat. So in conclusion, initially the project, as stated, was to be annexed into Porterdale. DRI was completed, and they provided their results for that. The project is also in close proximity to the Yellow River and other sensitive environmental wetlands and floodplain areas, which could negatively be impacted due to the density that they're proposing. Further, it is anticipated that a significant amount of traffic contributing to congestion will be added to the existing Brownbridge Road and Crowell Roads as the main thoroughfares to Interstate 20. Recent and existing developments in close proximity to those proposed developments that also utilize Crowell Road and Brownbridge Roads would include Dobbs Landing, Point Grand, the towns at Yellow River, Silver Ridge, Benton Woods, Leavestone, and Oakwood Manor, which give approximately a total of 1,492 units. So the current traffic study was completed in 2023 when the proposed uses were higher and those other subdivisions hadn't come online. We don't have any updated traffic impact studies since then for what they're proposing currently. So in addition, there will be an anticipated impact on the existing facilities and services, particularly with the other high-density developments that have since been approved in the vicinity. So should the Board of Commissioners approve this preliminary plat, it should be with the following recommendations, and it will be conceptual only. It must meet or exceed all conditions of the Unified Development Ordinance prior to the issuance of a land disturbance permit. So recommended conditions. So the proposed preliminary plat has been reviewed by Development Services. It meets the minimum requirements for sections 1415-030 and section 430 of the UDO. Staff is of the opinion that should the Board of Commissioners approve the preliminary plat, it should be subject to the following conditions. So prior to obtaining a land disturbance permit, all comments from the Newton County Fire Department, Development Services Department, and Transportation Department shall be addressed. Prior to obtaining a land disturbance permit, comments from external agencies such as the Water Authority, GDOT, Georgia Soil and Water Conservation Commission shall be addressed as applicable. They need to provide an amended traffic study to reflect new traffic patterns and densities of the subdivision and their neighboring subdivisions. Provide a wetland delineation study as part of the land disturbance permit. This is an aerial view of the parcels, so it's all the parcels that with the stars. So some of the parcels up here, and then this large one here, and then these two at the bottom. Zoning is R2, everything in yellow. These are the character area maps, so conservation recreation follows the Yellow River. You have the live work in the green. This is our floodplain map. So again, these are the parcels in place. So the floodplain is significant on the parcels that they're working with. So the areas that they're building on would just be the areas that are not in the floodplain. This would be the brown area. This is our wetlands map. There's no disturbance or building permitted in the wetland areas. This is the proposed preliminary plat, 310 units. So it extends all the way up to the access road. We have our ingress and egress points. We have 2 up here. And then we have the third one out on Brown Bridge Road. Of course, the Yellow River is on this side here. Green areas are the floodplain and wetlands. That's it for staff. If there are any questions, if not, Chairman, this is a public hearing and the applicant has his presentation.
Thank you. So it's my understanding that you guys have already had a public hearing. You haven't? You haven't? Okay. Thank you.
Public hearing.
Okay. It is 7:57. So at this time, we're going to open it up for our public hearing tonight. The applicant and those that like to speak in favor tonight, if you come at this time, you have 10 minutes to do so. The applicant and those that would like to speak in favor tonight.
Before we start, I know sometimes it's hard to see the screens. We have some hard copies of the presentation, if you guys would be okay receiving those. And there's more. Brian, there's more just in case. Awesome. Thank you so much. Kenneth Wood, 350 Research Court. Thank you guys for letting us speak tonight, commissioners. I want to talk about the project, its location, and why, after all the changes that it's been through, it's the right project for the site and how we've kind of gotten to that point. Is there a clicker? Can we? Oh, I'm sorry. The side, right here. So this is the map of it. Obviously, we're along the Yellow River that you can see there. We chose conservation. I'll walk you guys exactly through why we chose the conservation on the R2 to protect the lands, be able to have more common area for the development for all the residents that would live in there. And I'll kind of walk you through the different type of zonings and what we're seeing in the surrounding area. This is the map. You can kind of see the different surrounding areas, different subdivisions. We've kind of analyzed those and looked at how we kind of comport to those. This is our site plan. It's a little bit deceiving when you're talking about a development that's almost 400 acres. It can be hard to see on a scale, but the lots are almost half an acre and they go up over an acre. And so we have a big swath of different sizes that we have in this. When you're looking at the different plans, we tried to sit up on the hillside. We still have a lot of area that is parks, recreational areas, basically areas going to be for parks. And you can see just how far pulled away from the Yellow River it is, the way the topography works and the way we're able to set it up and then have some different pocket parks throughout the entire subdivision. Originally, this started at the 643 that we were originally at. That got pulled back and we started looking at the land. We actually thought we had a plan. There was some bonus density. The staff did a great job. They showed us in the code where that was not applicable. And so that's where we dropped down to the 310. So the second plan that we had was 390 lots. And then after that, conversations with staff, we resubmitted, and that's the plan in front of you that you see there at 310. And that density is 0.74. And I'm going to kind of walk you guys through a couple of things with that. So on the traffic study, we have updated a traffic study, but we're basically going to comply with all of the study that said what we need to comply with, even with the larger number. And so turn lanes on Access Road to get in, the turn lanes and additions we need to do to Dinah Pace. Also on Brown Bridge, left turn lanes, decel lanes, basically the full turning movements that we're going to be required to do. So we know we're going to have to do that. So we're prepared to be required to do all of those when you look at it on here. One of the things I want to show, because like I said, it's a little deceiving. I want to dispel any confusion on this. So the density is 0.78, and I just kind of highlighted all of the densities kind of, throughout the county as well in some of the cities. There's a 1.4 just to our east of us, and then 2.1. Everything else is much higher. And so we did an analysis and looked at, even if we took out all of the floodplain on the site, including all of the wetlands, all of the floodplain, and that's what is highlighted on here. And you can still see a lot of the additional extra green space the plan has. We're still just at 1.4. And so we're still as low as the lowest density of any subdivision around us. And that's why I was saying I just wanted to be able to kind of call that out, because it's sometimes tough to see the 399 and think 310 seems like a big number when you actually look at it in this large of a tract. It's not. This is also what's around us. We're either larger or directly equal to the largest lots around us. And everything I've heard in terms of what the county is looking for from talking with different people, single family detached, a big backyard, almost half an acre going up to an acre. We're planning on hitting 400 to 500 sale prices in here, and I've got some pictures to show that. These are some areas basically right here to basically look at. This is distances from the wetlands that we have. We have been able to go locate the wetlands, and you can see some of the places were 400 feet. Some of them were over 145 feet. The closest place on that one little ridge, we're still upwards of almost 100 feet. So we're staying way away from the environmentally sensitive areas, and we're adding a lot of stormwater features to make sure we can take care of the trees and the stormwater. And that's the reason we're trying to do the conservation, is we're trying to protect the trees, have a lot of open space that's common to the development. We created another exhibit just to be able to show just how large the lots are. And this is our minimum lot. And so the lots are over 200 feet deep, and you can see the backyards are almost 160 feet deep. So the minimum width is 75, and so that supports a really large house. All the houses will be at 15 to 20 feet apart, and so this is a larger lot, single family detached, very high-end subdivision that we're trying to provide, and what we're looking to do for the way it sets up. So just wanted to have a couple images. We're going to have a master amenity with a large clubhouse, a pool, big playground areas, bark parks, dog parks, and outside gathering areas, pavilions, walking trails. The development sets up so well. You have different places you can access the traffic and distribution, but we also have so much open space that we can really take advantage of that and make it a special subdivision. Access to the river is huge. Being able to have something that where you can get down to the river kind of through some of the lower areas is something that not a lot of subdivisions have, and this could be a subdivision that can have that available to it. These are some pictures of the homes. It's a mixture of one-story homes as well as two-story homes. But as you can see, we're targeting the larger homes. That's what we're looking at doing for the single-family detached, and having a mixture of different type of styles, substantial materials that we'd be looking at through the development. And we just did some additional analysis with some of the surrounding subdivisions that we have and what we're looking at and going toward. I wanted to touch on a couple of things. So we did have some comments at the preliminary plat hearing. There's some confusion, originally a motion to defer, and we requested a decision because we didn't think there could be a deferral, so there's some confusion there. But some of the comments that came out were about Dinah Pace and an orphanage that was on the property. We actually found some deeds and a lot of items to support. It's just to the east of the property, not on this property, but we said that we would do something to make acknowledgement and to respect all of the history in the area. So we're proposing to dedicate somewhere around a quarter to a half an acre right at the main entrance. That would be basically a green space. We would build the trails that you see, the sitting areas, create plaques, and this would be dedicated, and whether that's dedicated to the county or dedicated to a conservation item that can overlook the park, or whether our HOA takes care of the park. But we wanted to be able to do that in response to what we had heard, and so we did a lot of diving deep into this into response for that, and then making sure that we responded to the traffic, and that we are going to put in. We are find conditioning, we are going to put in the turn lanes and the decel lanes, all of them that are necessary to facilitate the traffic and make sure there's smooth flow throughout the development that we have here. And I'd love to keep any remaining time just in case there's questions from citizens that come up that I can explain afterwards.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else would like to speak in favor tonight? Anyone else would like to speak in favor tonight? Thank you. We also allow 10 minutes for those that would like to oppose tonight. If you'd like to oppose tonight, please come up and state your name and address, please, for the record. You may come at this time. You have 10 minutes to do so. Good evening.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners, County staff, members of Newton County community. My name is Halima Muhammad, and I'm a concerned citizen, local elected official, and advocate for the preservation of the legacy of Dinah Watts Pace. I'm here tonight because I believe a responsible development requires us to understand what we may be disturbing before it is disturbed. Dinah Watts Pace dedicated her life to caring for and educating children in Newton County. Her work and the history surrounding it deserves more than assumptions about what may or may not remain. Prior to the developers coming up, there was a comment made that it was a small cabinet that housed 700 children. That is an assumption that it was small. I asked the board, has the county conducted an adequate historical review of the property? Has the area been evaluated for unidentified burial sites or human remains? Have historic maps, deeds, serial photographs, land records, and other archival material been thoroughly reviewed? Have a qualified archaeologist or historic preservation professional evaluated the relevant portions of the property? Can the county confidently say that the historically significant resources will not be destroyed? If we cannot confidently answer those questions tonight, then we may not be ready to vote yes tonight. I am asking the board not to vote yes tonight. Take the time necessary to do the research, consult the appropriate professionals, and determine what is actually there before allowing irreversible disturbance of the land. This is not an argument that development can never happen. I am team development all day. It is an argument that responsible government should know what it is authorizing before the ground is disturbed. If the research is done and nothing is found, then at least we will know we acted responsibly. But if we approve this first and discover later that something important was destroyed, there is no vote we can take afterwards to put it back. We can always come back and vote. We cannot unearth history twice. Her legacy deserves to be preserved. Please do the research before you vote yes. And I'm asking everyone who believe that history deserves to be protected to visit the DinahPaceLegacy.org. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Summer Azul. This is my daughter, Autumn Azul. We stay off Cowan Ridge. And first of all, I would like to say that that was a great presentation that the gentleman came up here and gave every point that a real estate development would want to come and give. However, the one thing missing from his presentation was the represented humans. He talked about even the trees. He was going to put a half of acre of land in dedication to Mrs. Pace out of 400 acres. How generous. But just as he showed when he came up here and gave you all these papers to look at so you can see it closely, the residents, we live around here, we would like to see it closely. We are never considered when we come to these types of things. You want to bring 400 houses into an area that's already congested. Right at the corner of our street, there was someone who just recently died, as I'm sure you all know. He may know, but he will not say that. I'm here to say that. I'm here to speak for all the people that live around here, who we bought our homes. We bought our homes to raise our children here. We did not bring our homes to have all of this congestion, all of these businesses built in residential areas, all of these homes built for profit, all of these homes without the consideration of bringing rental properties into homeowners' areas. We saved our money to buy homes, to raise our children, to live in nature. We came to Covington for the trees that are being torn down for all these houses. With that being said, for anyone here on the panel or in the audience who are parents or have elderly people in their family, I would like for you to hear what my daughter has to say.
Okay. When he said to help the trees out or something like that, I feel like you would tear down the trees in order to put the building right there. Because isn't that necessary to put it where a forest is? But it's kind of unnecessary. Well, I don't know what else to say.
It's okay. Yeah. What her point is, thank you. Good job. Her point is that, as I stated, we came here to live in nature. We moved to Covington out of anywhere in the United States because this is a rural area. This is an area that we want to raise our children in, live in nature. And when you tear down all those trees for these type of properties that are for financial gain, where do those animals go? No one thinks about that. But again, as I said, I'm here for the human rights and everyone who was neglected in this audience who didn't get to see that up close piece of paper that was printed out so nicely for the board here. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good evening. I'll be very brief. You said everything in the right way. Nice presentation, but you didn't consult with the community. You said you consulted with the county. Nice presentation. Nice presentation there, Ms. Applewhite, but nowhere I see where the Office of Sheriff or law enforcement is going to be involved. GDOT is not going to address the issues on the roads there on Donna Pace. Good thinking. You had mentioned that you was going to do 700 houses or so, and then you cut it down to 300. But yet and still, if you do that, when you turn around and you look at the math with the houses that we have currently out there, you're going to be looking at about 700 vehicles trying to come out of there in the morning time, trying to get back there in the afternoon. And I know there's others want to speak, but I submit to you, perhaps there's a place for these houses to be built, but not on Donna Pace. Now, we continue to put everything on the western side of the county. On the western side of the county, we continue to put everything over there, but the services is not there. So before we move forward, I think we need to look at where we are with the infrastructure, where we are with services, and that's the end of my presentation. But please listen at the female before me.
Anyone else?
Good evening, everybody. I'm Anderson Bailey. I live at 10504 Dinah Pace Road. Also a representative of the school board. Now, we are impacting our schools already. We're packing out. And Mr. Edwards used once on the school board. Now, they bringing in more houses. What that's going to bring? More children. So with more children, it's going to be more issues of impacting the schools. And not only that, you know, they talk all the nice stuff. They did a great presentation. They made their soup and they served it. But the thing is, the taste is not good. Not for that area. And right now, everything is being built, but our schools is tight. They're tight now. Every day we got something going on. So what are we going to do? Invite more and more traffic? We're going to invite more and more headache? You talking about building turning lanes? Where you going to get that property? You going to make everybody give up something just to build something? Here we go again. We're going to be back in front of you again. And so everybody, think about where you live at. Just think for a minute. Where you live, would you want all this in your area? Everybody got their own property, big yards, big houses. But we want our little houses. We want our little area. We've been up there for years. We love each other. We get along. So when you invite outsiders to come in, if GDOT didn't put turning lanes up there on Donna Pace Road, look at how hard it is now to get out. You playing jump rope trying to get in and get into traffic and get out. And when something happens on the expressway, guess what? They're on the side road going home or either coming to town. And that's just going to be more traffic. They don't live here. They comfortable. They making money. So they getting paid. So I just ask y'all to look at it because there's a lot of houses around here in Covington right now. They move in, they move out, they abandon. It's just an in-out thing. But if y'all just really take consideration and look at this tonight, table it, do whatever you got to do, give us a chance to be heard. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Janelle West. I'll make it short and sweet because I'm a constituent, not any of the board members. You should deny the, you should affirm the Planning Commission's denial of the application because it will put a strain on the school districts and on the resources allocated for this area where citizens already complain about response time from ambulance, police, and in regards to traffic. Everyone uses up all the time, so I've truncated everything right there, but I'm a constituent. I'm not a part of the government. We don't want it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It's 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Anyone else? You got 3 seconds. 3 seconds. 3 seconds. 3 seconds.
Good evening, commissioners.
Good evening,
My
sir.
name is Gladstone Nicholson. It's been a while since I've been here. I just
Time.
want to say this. Do the same standards for the east side as west side when you start building and allowing permits.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
So I think they wanted to come back, the applicant wanted to come back up. I think it had 2 minutes remaining. How much was it? How much? Yep, 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Sir, you got 2 minutes and 17 seconds.
Sounds, do I have the clicker still? So I just want to respond, with like, am I able to? So we had found, like, we've done a lot of research and we're not trying to, we're not trying to argue at all. We had, found a deed that described it as being to the east of this site, and it says it very specifically. We can supply that coming in. So we weren't doing that. So we were just trying to, come up with a really nice, design if you're coming down so that everyone in the neighborhood could have something for the Dinah Pace legacy. So we're just trying to come up with an idea that seemed very fitting. I have no problem with meeting with the neighborhood, with this being already zoned, not part of the, the typical process like a zoning. But, I don't have a problem with meeting anybody and running through the plan. I think it's, a great plan. We were looking at the conservation because you can see on the plan where, all the little green areas, those are all common areas at the edge, and then there's so much more common area in the center of the site. Most of the trees are cleared on the areas where we're building the homes that you see there. So there's so much of the trees are down in the kind of the lower areas and some of the fall areas. That's why we chose the conservation and felt like it was definitely the most appropriate for this, here. Being R2, being larger lot, single family, we felt like that, having nice homes in the area, having single family detached, a big yard, a really powerful HOA that can take care of the land, take care of the grounds, that was the direction, it being zoned R2, that was what is most appropriate for this. And like I said, we're not trying to, go against anybody or do anything at all. We're happy to, as part of the permitting process, if approved, we're happy to get with RS Webb, who's a historian, and let them come on the site and do the research and provide the outcome of that. We're just here to listen. We're here to, we think this is a great project. It's just a large piece of land, but it does distribute property in a really great way. GDOT, I know, is going to let us provide turn lanes and really help with the traffic mitigation on both of the entrances and exits, and we're willing to do that in conditions as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Ms. Applewhite, if you would, please come on back up. Commissioner Henderson, what shall we hear?
Thank you, Mr. C. You know, one of the things that wasn't mentioned was the fact that we had been fighting a data center just beyond that piece of property. And the county had nothing to do with it. It was being annexed by the town of Porterdale. And everybody said, well, Jason, you just gonna make sure they're gonna put a data center on it. Nope, it was not gonna be no data center that J.C. Henderson approved in that community or in the community. Unless it was something that way on back in the country that they wanted. Then just up the road from that, on Coral Road, there's another big subdivision district for about 400 or 500 houses, townhouses and all that stuff, and with little to no infrastructure. And then in District 3, Commissioner Cooper had one just beyond it. If all those things are approved, it's gonna be so many people on the road and running it down a pace and all the rest of them. We've got to do something for infrastructure. And then, hey, what about protection? Police or sheriff protection? Sheriff protection. Tell me something, with the budget decreasing and the sheriff budget decreasing, how you gonna get an officer and all those folks get over there when you need one? You tell me, because I don't know. So, there's a whole lot of stuff that's going on at Downer Place. And then they were talking about, when we first started talking about it, I listened. And they said, well, we're gonna come in, we're gonna come into Downer Place, the right-hand side, but we're gonna leave the other side just the way it is. I couldn't understand that. So only thing that I asked then, and I'm still asking, was a community meeting where you come and let all the people who, from Downer Place, or anyone else who may want to come attend the meeting, and come up and just tell you about how beautiful their homes are, that little piece of land that they live on. But you know, and I think, and you correct me if I'm wrong, James, because, you know, I'm just who I am. I had asked you to get the number last week so I could call, we could set up a meeting. And I'm talking to our county manager, and what did you relate back to me?
That the staff was getting the number, and the proponent at that time declined to have a public meeting.
So, hold y'all. Shh. So what I'm saying is, what I'm going to do is table it to give them an opportunity to come to our public meeting, and so that you can hear the people whose homes that will be around that big old subdivision that's going to bring right across the Downer Pace. And there was two venues I was looking at, either church in Downer Pace or Bethlehem Baptist Church. And so what I would like to do, my fellow commissioners for the Downer Pace, is to table it for 30 days to give us a chance to have a public meeting with the developers so they can tell you personally what they want to build around our community. Secondly, I'm going to have the sheriff, I'm asking him or a representative be present to talk about the traffic that it's going to bring to the community. Have the fire chief there to talk about the possible fires. And we know we have Board of Education member, Anderson Bay, to be there too as well. So we just want to have a big, nice, peaceable discussion with you as far as how if we move forward, how we could all work together, if we can, for something. And lastly, Ms. Donna Watts Pace. When I first became a commissioner, I learned about that story. In fact, Mr. Fleming Pitts made sure I knew about that story. She had an orphanage, and she was a slave, had an orphanage, and she had about 2 kids that she brought with her and started an orphanage here on Downer Pace. She had all the acres that you heard about, 400, 500 acres. And she died in 1933. And when she died, 2 years, it lasted for only 2 years, and she died, boop, the history was forgotten. And I refused to let her history be forgotten because I cried. Because when I read the story, it was just like my grandmother. of my mother. In the plat, they wouldn't put on the property where the old oak tree at, where there should be some old slaves, some slaves head of the headstone there, which rocks around the oak tree. We got it at Donna Pace Park. It's up under the sign talking about what she had did for Donna Pace. I will not let history, at least on my watch, be forgotten nowhere in Newton County. Because those people, the reason why I'm here sitting here today, this day is because of those peoples. Because I'm standing on their shoulders in order to be here. Because other than that, we wouldn't have had a Reverend card. And we wouldn't have had others to sit in this seat had it not been for them. And so, I'm closing. I'm just going to say this. I'm going to set up a meeting. I'm asking that another meeting be set up. And we all attend, come in peacefully, talk about it, and then the next meeting we'll make a decision. So having said that, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to table for 30 days.
Chairman, if I may, could we do that for 60 days to allow for re-advertising?
I changed that motion for 60 days.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Is there a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson that we table this for 60 days, and second by Commissioner Cooper. Any discussion? Commissioner Long?
Lots of discussion. Okay. Where is that traffic report? How come you haven't received the updated traffic report that they said they have?
And we don't have a copy of the amended report at this
So
time.
they did not provide one before tonight, but they're saying they have one.
It appeared that they have done one, but I don't believe we received
But
it.
I haven't seen it. And we have 1,500 other homes in this area that are coming online.
That have come online and existing.
Okay, all right. So they're in, just like we've been talking about with this UDO, everything that's in the pipeline, you got to remember what's on down the road. And one of the things that we've been talking about is, I know everybody mentions the eastern end of the county, and yes, I protect the heck out of the eastern end of the county. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to protect the western end of the county. So I would like to make a substitute motion to deny the plat immediately tonight.
There's a substitute motion on the floor made by Commissioner Long that we deny this plaque tonight. Is there a second? Second. It's been motioned by Commissioner Long and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? It stand denied. Thank you, 5-0.
Thank you, Chairman.
Next is citizen comments. This opportunity will allow citizens to make comments. You have 3 minutes. You got another? Oh, I'm sorry. We do have one more. Ms. Applewhite. We have one more. Yep. Guys, I apologize. We have one more. We're still in our public hearing. I have one more.
My apologies, Chairman. Our final item this evening is for consideration of Resolution 081826. It's a resolution of the Newton County Board of Commissioners extending through November 4th, 2026, an existing moratorium on the acceptance or approval of new applications seeking, 1, to rezone property to any zoning category that authorizes residential uses, 2, preliminary plat approval for any development that includes any residential use, and 3, request for temporary building permits for residential uses under Section 510640 of the Newton County Unified Development Ordinance. So basically our moratorium on residential subdivisions will expire on August 19th, which is tomorrow. So we're looking to extend that until November 4th, which would coincide with when we propose to wrap up and have the UDO adopted, the updated UDO.
Go ahead. I'm ready.
Okay. Now, I think we got to open this up for a public hearing. I apologize. So.
This will be a public hearing.
Yep. Thank you, ma'am. So the applicant, which is us, we have 10 minutes. Anyone want to speak in favor tonight, you have 10 minutes to do so. You may come at this time. You have 10 minutes to do so. Thank you. That portion is closed. We'll also allow 10 minutes for those that would like to oppose. You have 10 minutes to do so. You may come at this time. State your name, your address for the record, please. Anyone want to oppose tonight? Anyone want to oppose tonight? That portion is closed. Ms. Applewhite, if you would. Commissioners, I seek a motion, please. It's been motioned by Commissioner Long and second by Commissioner Cooper. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. It passes 5-0.
Thank you, Chairman. That concludes the zoning items for this evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we're citizen comments. You have 3 minutes to do so. If you would, please come and state your name and your address for the record, please. You may come this time. You have 3 minutes to do so. State your name, your address for the record, please.
Excuse me, get the right glasses. I'd like to thank the Board of Commissioners for this time. I'm here about stray cats and how areas in this
Can I get you to pull your mic down just so they can hear you? There you go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And your name, if you don't mind.
Oh, my name's Claude Hartley.
Okay.
And I'd like to thank the board again. I'm here about stray cats and how areas in our county are overrun with cats. Last year, I captured 16 or more cats and have taken them to animal control. This year, I have captured 12 cats, making a total of 28 cats in this period of time. Monday, I took a cat to animal control. There was a notice posted on the front door stating they are not taking any more cats. They're full. This shows how bad the problem is in this county. Let me find my spot here. It's my understanding that Newton County Control does not capture feral cats. What's a citizen to do? I know they are overwhelmed, but they are the only resource we have to this ongoing problem. I have a suggestion. It's called TNR. What this means is capture, spade, neuter. That prevents the cat from reproducing. Then you release the cat. Over a period of time, I think this would help. I have a number of counties that practice this, and it seems to have some success. The counties that practice it. This is going to shock you. An unspayed female cat can become pregnant within 4 months and bear 3 litters a year, assuming at least 1 cat survives. This cycle can produce over 200 cats a year. The thing is, now I'm going off script. The thing is that animal control, when you take a cat to them, their response is, we're full. All this does is cause cats to reproduce in the area. And I'd like to see other methods like the TNR method looked into to maybe help with this. And I'd like to thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No, so we'll get them. We'll get them from you. All right, thank you.
Newton County, Omega Newton County resident. The question is specifically aimed at you, and the question is concerning the parliamentary procedurals. And what I need to get an understanding of is what is the overriding authority that rescinded the governor's suspension? In other words, I'm not here to challenge, I'm here to get understanding or clarity. because the back and forth was, from my understanding, that although you had 5 charges dismissed, that you still have standing charges against you. And Governor Kemp has been very vocal in coming out in news organizations and media saying that the suspension and the executive order suspension and removal still stands. So help me and the rest of the Newton County residents understand. Is there something that we missed, or somebody that has more authority than the presiding governor, that you have the power to override the suspension?
What's that? You got a minute and 40 seconds, sir.
Yeah, I'm asking you a question.
So you can come up and speak. We don't speak back to you now. You can come up and talk to us after the meeting is over with, but you have a minute and 30 seconds remaining.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
So in essence, what's going on is that we need to understand that according to the OCGA 45-5-6, it's very explicit in that it explains pending the final disposition of their criminal cases or expiration of your term of office, which neither one is happening. Like, the term is still ongoing, and there's no decision on part of the courts, the judge, the governor. Everybody is saying, nope, you still have these things going on. So it disturbs me because, you know, I don't really participate like this. I'm behind the scenes kind of guy. And when I start seeing things going sideways or going left, see, it puts me in the mind, or it triggers me in a way where I'm being challenged if I'm stepping up and actually operating under my, you know, constitutional, what we might call duty. So I'm coming straight up and saying that this would not be the end of this. So I want to talk to you, Brother Baines, and I want to find out what we can find out.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Please state your name, your address for the record, please.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
I want to ask the Newton County Board of Commissioners about the youth facility plan on Fairview Road. This project had been talked about for some time, and the community deserves to know what's taking them so long. So I have something else to say. My uncle had a seizure at 1:35 p.m. and the fire department arrived at around 1 something. And not only that, the ambulance showed up at 2:05. That contract was signed on the EMT. They don't look too well because my uncle almost died from that. So y'all need to do a new contract because that don't look too good on y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Anyone else? Please state your name, your address for the record, please.
Thank you once again. Thank you once again, Commissioners. My name is Gladstone Nicholson, live on the west side of town. And a couple of things I have to say, but I'll say something almost impromptu. That young man who just came up here, if there are folks like him, I think we have a legacy already being built, and we should make it as strong as we can as a community. I like what he said. But why I came up here is to say thank you to the Commissioner for District 5, who gave an emphatic answer to the question about that construction. I thank you much. And in my brief moments, I said we need to have a more balanced view of construction across the county. We have the east side and west side. We probably have maybe a better name might be newer and older Newton County. But I do believe there has been some differences in how development is handled. Perhaps it's because the new folks did not understand as well as older folks how this system here works. Not that it works badly, but the idea here is if you don't know a system, you're going to have some slack time where you might maybe come up on short end because of your learning curve not being as sharp as it probably should be. So the idea here is for folks on the west side, the newer side, to understand that they have as much at stake in this county as the folks who have, quote unquote, all the land that's being hoarded for whatever is down the road. And I just want to say thank you all for what you're doing. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. There are some new members on the board. Thank you all again. And maybe the future will be brighter than it's been for the past, I don't know, decade or so. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I want to start off by making sure everyone understands. Now, we denied a project tonight that, and I voted against it. Don't get me wrong. So I voted against it. But we denied a project tonight that is allowed by right. And what I mean by that is the zoning existed for some type of residential development on that property. The time for us to yell and scream, include myself, is during the zoning hearings. When we were trying to change the zoning on properties, that's the time to voice your opposition. Tonight we heard the opposition to a final plat. And a final plat is just, hey, we're deciding on the configuration, and we turned that down. Hard to defend in court. The other thing I want to touch on is, you know, this thing of east and west has popped up again. On the west, on the east, southeastern and the eastern side of the county, we have no sewer. So the density, the zoning density is not there, not allowed. I don't know why the sewer started on the western side of the county 40 years ago. I have no idea. I probably didn't care then, but I mean, I wasn't a commissioner for sure back then. So that's where the density follows the sewer. And keep in mind, and I'm talking about myself here too. So we voice our opinion in opposition, and I've stood right there and done it. We voice our opinion in opposition to developments when we all live in a development, on one way or the other. Most of us live in a subdivision. So I have some acreage where I live, and I remember I zoned 2 acres of my acres. I zoned 2 of it from my house, and I had people stand up in opposition against it because they just didn't want to see agricultural property go residential. So I understand it, but we all live on property that one time was probably agricultural, and we protest. I do it as well. We protest our developments, and I don't want to. And you've heard me say it 16,000 times sitting right here. If we never build another house in Newton County, it suits me just fine. I don't care what district is in. So, but that's not reality. But I just wanted to make that point that we all live on property that somebody probably protested when they got ready to develop it, especially subdivisions. So, just wanted to get that off, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Mason. No comment. Thank you, sir. Commissioner Cooper.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner, like I said, I heard what you're saying on that, but also I know you talked about the sewer and septic on that, but maybe we need to look at developers or something doing on the upside, but we don't, still at the same time, we want to make sure that we get what we want and what we deserve on the west side. So maybe we can talk to a developer and install a sewer line or something, make it part of their scope or something, but we can't continue to put everything on the west side.
Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. C. I just want to say this, and I say, Stan, you hit the nail right on the head. That was somewhat a bad decision in what we done. Whereas if you would have had meetings, you could have maybe worked with the developer in order to get maybe possibly less density or whatever you wanted to do. But by flat out denying it, knowing that you had really had no real reason for denying it, they go to court, get it approved, they build a subdivision. You have no say in at all. And so, only thing is the District 4 County Commissioner, what I was saying was that I was trying to the best of my ability, so I'm sitting up here longer than anyone up here, I understand kind of a little bit how it kind of works, but and it's fine. You learn by trial and error. And so we'll see what the end results will be as far as that subdivision on down the pace. And the other one over on Coral Road, it's also is a subdivision that the judge ruled against us and they wanted to build it. So we're denied again, and eventually they'll probably build what they want to build. And we have all those houses up there. And I learned a long time ago, if you can talk a little bit of sense into me like my mama did, then I probably act a little bit better than I did when I was a younger man. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Long?
Well, I disagree with them. I've been doing real estate for 30 years, and I'm gonna tell you something, we denied a plat tonight. And I think sometimes government gets a little brainwashed. And I think that there are things that you can do, and we've proved that several times since I've been on this board for 18 months, that we have won against developers that take us to court. You have to have that can-do, we're not gonna take it attitude. And you have to say, when we deny a plat, and I didn't give all the reasons why we deny this plat, but we can deny what they are presenting anytime we want to. Now, can they come back? Yes, and we can sit down with them and have that discussion, and we can say, and put all these conditions in there, okay? We don't have to have 310 homes. We can put all the conditions in there. They are using what we have as a loophole right now, where they're using 2 types of zoning on top of each other. Okay, so we do have rights as citizens in this county, and I get so tired of hearing, oh, we can't do anything, we're gonna get sued. I don't care.
Well, who's making the money?
So let's get,
Who's making the money?
Guys.
I did not talk over you.
You making the money.
So we can, well, you know what, that's kind of contradictory then, you know? But I want good developments in this county. I want to make sure that we take our time, because they can come in here and give us a dog and pony show every time they want to, but do they ever turn out like these pictures? No. They do not. So I am willing to take that chance, and if they want to come meet with me, they come meet with me. I'll tell them what we can do better. Because I realize that if there's a will, there is a way. And that's just how I do things, and it's different. It's a different mindset. I might be wrong, but I'm willing to take that chance. That's all I want to say about that. And, you know, sometimes you just have to kick the can down the road a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you. There is a need for executive session tonight. Personnel and potential litigation. I seek a motion that we move into executive session. Is there a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? We
Do I have a motion to adjourn, to adjourn? All those in favor? We are adjourned.